Alright YouTube, Chef G back with another video. I'm going to be making some Greek food today. Actually going to do a Greek salad with some pita on the side. So I'm going to give you a few different meats that we're going to make. We're going to do a Greek chicken Slovaki and a beef Slovaki that we're going to add to our salad. So let's start with the chicken. I have some chicken. This is just one chicken breast that's been cut into strips that I'm going to be using. I'm going to add to that some garlic. That's our minced garlic. A half a teaspoon of minced garlic. We're going to do some oregano leaves. We're going to do about 3 shakes of that into our bowl. I would say about a 1/4 teaspoon. We're going to do some paprika. So this is the paprika. About a 1/4 teaspoon of that. We're going to do a couple pinches of salt. And some black pepper. A couple shakes of that. Bring you guys down here so you can see what I have so far. Okay, we're going to add in a tablespoon of lemon juice. We're going to do 2 teaspoons olive oil. And we're going to do let's do a half of a bay leaf. So we're going to take a full bay leaf, break it in half. Okay? We're going to get this mixed together. I'm going to mix it with my cloves on. Okay? Just so we can see that our chicken is nice and seasoned. Okay, I think I want to add a little bit more paprika. And a little bit more of our oregano. So a couple more shakes of oregano. Let's go a little bit more black pepper. And another little pinch or shake of salt. Okay, so that looks real good. Looks like it's going to be nice and seasoned. I'm going to let this marinate for about 30 minutes. Okay, next thing we're going to do is our beef. So I have some beef. It's cut into little chunks. We're going to add, and this is 1 pound of beef. We're going to add 2 teaspoons of oregano. Yeah. So 2 teaspoons of oregano. Oh, that's about what I got left in there. I'm going to go ahead and pour the rest of it in there. Okay. We're going to do 1.5 teaspoons of garlic. So that's 1. We're going to do a half a teaspoon garlic. And we're going to do half a teaspoon of black pepper. Okay. We're going to do a tablespoon, which I'm going to use a teaspoon. I'm going to do 3 of these. That equals 1 tablespoon of olive oil. So that's 1, 2, 3. So 3 teaspoons equal 1 tablespoon. And we're going to do lemon juice, 1/4 cup of that. I'm going to do a 1/4 cup of lemon juice. And this is just some concentrated lemon juice here. Okay, 1/4 cup of my lemon juice. And we're going to do 2 tablespoons of red wine vinegar. So 2 tablespoons of the red wine vinegar. Get that open. We're going to do just like we did the olive oil. 3 teaspoons equal to tablespoons, so I need 6 of these. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay? And that is all we're going to put into our steak. I'm going to add a little bit of salt. Let's go 1/2 teaspoon of that as well. And we're going to get that mixed in. Got a new glove. We're going to get that all mixed together. And we're going to let this marinate as well for about 30 minutes to an hour. And then we'll get it ready to cook it. We're going to cook it. Bring you guys back up here real quick. We're going to cook it in our air fryer. And then we'll be ready to make our salad. I'll get the ingredients ready for that. And we'll be ready to go. I'll be back in about 30 minutes to an hour. Alright, so while we're waiting on our meat to marinate, we're going to do a homemade pita bread. So what you're going to need in separate bowls, of course, I have 1 and 3/4 cups of flour, all-purpose. And then 2 other separate bowls, you're going to do a 1/2 cup each in 2 other separate bowls because the flour is going to be added in at different times, okay? 1/2 teaspoon sugar, 2 teaspoons yeast, active dry yeast, of course, 1 teaspoon of salt, 2 tablespoons of olive oil. And you're going to need 1 cup of warm water, and I'm going to get that now. All right, 1 cup of warm water. So in the first bowl that you have the 1/2 cup of flour in, you're going to add your sugar, yeast, and your water. So first I want to add my sugar to my yeast. And I'm going to add that, a little bit of water into that, kind of get it started. So I add a little bit of water to get it started, guys. Give it a little stir, just to get it started. Okay, you can see that. Okay, now we're going to add it, bring you guys down here. We're going to add it to our, almost had an accident here. We're going to bring it down to our flour mix. Okay, we're going to add in the remainder of our water, and this is warm water. And we're going to give it a stir. Once we give this a stir, we're just going to let this sit for approximately 15 minutes until it becomes really frothy and bubbly. Okay? In a nice warm place is fine. Uncovered, so don't put anything over it. Just make sure there's nothing that can get into it. Okay? So we're going to leave this uncovered for about 15 minutes. I'm gonna get a whisk out. I can make sure I get that nice and mixed in. And this should be nice and bubbly and frothy. So essentially we're making a starter for our pita. Okay? The rest of our other half a cup of flour is going to be reserved for the kneading process. And then we still have 1 3/4 cups of flour, in which we're going to add this to that. Okay? So 15 minutes, let it sit, and we'll be back. Alright guys, it's been 15 minutes. Bring it down so you can see what we're looking for. So you see that little bubbly, frothy stuff that's on top? That's what you're looking for your first step. Okay? So now we're going to add, I'm going to get some gloves. We're going to add this into our 1 3/4 cups of flour. Along with our salt and our olive oil. This is going to be fairly sticky, but we're going to add in some of our extra half a cup of flour. You're going to do a little bit of that at a time until we get our consistency. Okay, if you guys can see so far how it's looking sticky. Alright, we're going to shake a little bit of our half a cup of flour in. You don't want it to be too dry. You want it to be kind of tacky. That's what we're looking for. Okay. So I probably did about a little less than 1/4 cup that I shook in there. You guys can see. And what I'm going to do is knead this for about 2 minutes. Just to make sure I incorporate my flour that I added. And that we get a nice dough ball. I'm going to shake just a tad bit more flour. So far I've probably used about half of my flour. So about 1/4 cup I've added back into my bowl. Okay, so you guys see how that's looking? It's coming together right nice. Okay, got about another minute of kneading. And if you do this in a KitchenAid mixer, it'll go a little bit faster, the process. But for small batches of dough, I just rather do it by hand. But my dough is coming together nicely. If you see, it's a little tacky, not too wet, not too sticky. Okay. So what I'm doing with my kneading process is I'm developing the gluten, okay, and stretching that gluten out so I have some nice pita bread. Okay, so we've kneaded for 2 minutes. I'll take my glove off. Okay, I'm going to cover this Okay, cover this with some plastic wrap. And I'm going to put this in the refrigerator for a couple of hours, and we'll continue to let our meat marinate as well. That we did earlier in the video, and we'll be back to do the finished product. Alright, so our dough has risen. We're going to knead it a couple of times. And then we're going to get ready to do our individual pita breads. Okay, so I'm just going to take a chef knife and I'm going to divide this up. The recipe said it makes 8, so I'm going to do 8 equal pieces. So I have my 8 equal pieces. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to shape them into a ball so they can be rolled out into my actual pita bread. I'm going to go old school with you. I'm going to pull out a glass. Get a little flour so nothing sticks. Press it down. You're going to get it in as much as a circle as you can. Each time, pick it up, roll it. Okay? And you'll do this until you have about 1/4 inch thick disc. Okay? If you see your dough drawing back up after you rolled it out, then give it a rest. Okay, that just means that the gluten needs to rest. Okay, I'm going to finish these up and I'll be right back. Alright guys, have my pita bread rolled out. About 7 to 9 inches wide is what you're looking for. I'm going to throw them individually into my air fryer to let them bake. Okay, we should see how this works. I probably let them bake for about 5 minutes at 400, and I'll be back with the first pita bread. Hopefully it comes out well. If not, then we'll do it a different way. Okay. All right, so while I was rolling out my pita, I had cut some fresh potatoes to make potato wedges. You guys can see that they look good. And I put salt, pepper, garlic powder, a little bit of ranch dressing seasoning, Italian seasoning, and paprika on these fries. I'm going to taste one real quick. They might need to go in for a little longer. They cook for about 18 minutes. Good. I'm putting them back in there for a few more minutes just to get them crispy. And this is what we're going to have with, I'm going to make my husband a gyro. That's what I was going to say. So he can have the fries on the side. I'm going to eat a salad. And I might have a few of the fries as well. So, I'm going to put that to the side. And we're going to make tzatziki sauce. So when I went to the store, I couldn't find any dill, but I seen this dill cream cheese dip in the produce section, so I got some of that. I'm going to use that along with some non-fat Greek yogurt. And let me get my lemon. A little lemon juice. And I've finely minced, if you guys can see that, finely minced an English cucumber that I'm going to add in there as well. Okay, so I'm going to go with half a cup of Greek yogurt. Okay, we're going to go with half a cup of Greek yogurt into my bowl. Bring you guys down here. So I have my half a cup of Greek yogurt in my bowl. I'm gonna go with a couple of tablespoons of this dill cream cheese dip. So I'm just gonna use a regular spoon. Do a couple of dollops of that. I would say that's probably about a 1/4 cup of that. I'm going to throw in my finely minced cucumber, which I peeled and finely chopped. And I'm going to do a couple teaspoons of lemon juice. Okay. Give that a quick mix. And then we're going to taste it to make sure we got everything. Because I'm thinking I want to put a little garlic in there, but I may not. But we'll give it a taste and see what we got. Alright. So if you guys can see what that looks like. Okay. Basically what it's supposed to look like. Let's give it a taste. I'm satisfied with that. I'm gonna give it just a little sprinkle of salt though. And that's it, y'all. Tzatziki. We're gonna check our pita bread. I'll be right back. Alright, pita bread is out. It didn't quite cook 5 minutes, but it did what it's supposed to do in that air fryer, y'all. This air fryer is gonna be my best friend here from now on. I'm bring you guys down here so you can see that pita bread. So it's supposed to puff up like that. We'll let it rest in on a plate, and we'll be back with the rest of them and to make our plate of food that we're gonna have today. Oh, we got to cook our chicken and our steak, so we'll be back to cook that. All right, so my pita bread came out very good. I cut it in half. It opened up just like it should. You can stuff it if you want to. I'm not gonna stuff it. I'm just gonna put the stuff on top. I'm gonna use this one, nice and golden brown. I have some roasted red pepper hummus that I'm gonna add to it, so you can see that. I don't know if you guys can see in there, but this is the steak that I'm going to use. My chicken is down there too. But once I take the chicken out, you can see what that looks like. Okay, so first things first, let's go ahead and get our pita made. So we'll bring it down here. So I have a little bit of lettuce cut here to go on to the gyro. So I'm just going to spread some hummus out on my pita. This is the chicken that was marinated and I cooked in the air fryer for 10 minutes, 400 degrees. Well, it's probably about 8 minutes or 400 degrees. Between 8 and 10 minutes for 400 degrees. Next thing I'm going to put on there is some of my lettuce. Actually, let's switch that around. Let's put our chicken on the top. So we'll pull that chicken off. We'll put the lettuce. Do a couple of grape tomatoes on the side. A couple of onions. These are just some sliced white sweet onion. You can use red if you like. I'm going to throw a couple of cucumbers on there as well. I'm not going to put feta cheese on his because he's lactose, so we're not going to go there with the cheese today. Okay? So we'll add our chicken. Throw them a couple extra pieces on there. Just like that. So now I have my gyro. You can add tzatziki, which I made earlier. I'm not going to put any on this, so I'm just going to leave this as is with the hummus. Let me throw a couple more onion pieces on there. Okay. So our gyro. And don't forget about our potato wedges that we made. These are delicious, guys. We're going to throw a little of those on the plate. Alright. Set the rest to the side. And we have a gyro with potato wedges. Alright. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a salad for myself. I'm going to use the rest of that little bit of lettuce just because. Alright, we're going to throw on tomatoes. We're going to do some onion. And I like onions, so I'll get quite a bit of those on mine. We're going to do some cucumber. Okay, so that's my basis. I'm going to do, excuse me, some steak on my salad. So we'll put that on top. So that's the steak. Little chunks for pieces. Alright, just like that. I'm going to cut this pita that I showed you that was opened up into some wedges to have on the side as pita chips. Okay, so we'll have those on the side. I'm going to add a little hummus as well. That's dumped for my pita chip. And I also have an antipasta delight. These are just some marinated vegetables that I'm going to throw onto my salad. Okay, they're marinated in olive oil and herbs. So there's cauliflower in here. There's red peppers, porcini peppers. So we're just going to put a few of those on to our salad. Just like that. Okay. Can't forget the olives. These are calamala. I love them.